Hi everyone, welcome back to God's Whispers, a place where we take the time to pause and reflect on the word of the Lord. Today I'm going to be speaking about the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 12, verses 13 through 21, and it's the parable of the rich fool. Let's listen. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbitrator?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I shall store all my grain and other goods. And I shall say to myself, now, as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you. And the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus will it be for the one who stores up treasure for himself, but is not rich in what matters to God." I'm sure you've caught yourself, just as I, thinking, if I could just have a little more of this, then I can finally rest. And that's where this story begins. In Jesus' time, inheritance disputes were common. Jewish law often left property divided among sons, and people would sometimes ask the respected rabbis to settle the matter. So when a man calls out to Jesus, tell my brother to divide my inheritance with me," it sounded like a normal request. But Jesus doesn't act like the legal judge. Instead, he looks deeper. To drive the point home, he tells the parable about the rich man with the huge harvest. And then at that same night, God said to him, "You fool, your life will be demanded of you." So notice how many times the man says "I" and "my." He's talking to himself, not God, not to others, not to his family. In just those few sentences, we can see his self-centeredness. I worked for it, I earned it, I deserve to keep it. The parable isn't condemning wealth, but it's exposing the spiritual blindness. He's planning for years of ease, but he forgot that it wasn't guaranteed for even just one more night. So this story reminds us that real abundance is not what we store, but in who we serve. You can fill your barns, but still feel empty. You can build bigger houses, but still have a smaller heart. So Jesus is inviting us to trade the illusion of control for a piece of trust. Stop living for someday and start living today with purpose and generosity. So journal prompts that would go along with this is, what bigger barns am I building in my life? Things that I might be clinging to for security or to prove my identity. How can I begin practicing being rich with God this week? With my generosity, with prayer, or with time? And this is a tough one. If tonight were my last, what would I want to leave behind? My possessions or my love? I hope this message resonated with you and spoke to your heart. And if you feel like it did, and share it with someone who might also need that reminder. And don't forget to follow along so you can continue to hear God's whispers.